Hope you're comfortable. The Feast of Christ the King is the culmination of the liturgical year. 3 phrases from St. Paul's letter to the Colossians resonated with me. The first is, let us give thanks to the Father. The second was, he is the head of the body, the church, referring to Jesus. And lastly, that in all things, he himself might be preeminent. Let us give thanks to the Father. How appropriate as we celebrate Thanksgiving this Thursday. However, we gather each week to celebrate the Holy Eucharist, a word that it means thanksgiving. We dedicate time each week, about an hour, to give thanks to God in a public way for the blessings that we have received. I have been blessed to be the father of twins for the last 18 months. I have a son and a daughter, Anthony and Our Lady. My strategy has been to get the twins to pray together and play together. This weekend, I would like to share with both parishes where we have been over the last year and a half and what direction that we are moving. But I would like to share it from my vantage point, my perspective. You see, most people experience their church community by the particular Mass they attend. I go to the 4 p.m. Saturday at St. Anthony's, or the 8 a.m. Sunday at Our Lady of Mercy, or the 10:30 Mass at St. Anthony, or the 12 noon in Spanish at Our Lady of Mercy. If you attend these Masses regularly, you may observe that not many things have changed, maybe some new faces. But if you went to the 4:30 weekend Mass, the 4:30 Saturday at Our Lady of Mercy, or the 8 a.m. at St. Anthony on Sunday, or the 10:30 a.m. at Our Lady of Mercy, your entire weekend schedule has been dramatically altered. And because of time, you may have found yourself going to a different church building than before. I say this because not every person in our 2 parishes has experienced the same thing. The pandemic has changed the landscape of society as well as parish life. As you may know, many people have not returned to the practice of the faith, and many people have not returned to pray with their church community. And as you all have observed, our numbers are not the same as pre-COVID. Events that were familiar, like the St. Joseph table or the Festa, have not returned. To give you a brief overview, on average, 750 people come through our churches on a weekend at both parishes. About 370 people attend the 2 Masses at St. Anthony, while about 385 people attend the 3 Masses at Our Lady of Mercy. But if you remember, at each Mass, we have a blend of 3 communities. Under my pastoral care, I have the St. Anthony community. I have a blended English and Spanish-speaking community at Our Lady of Mercy. According to our registrations, and I'm using round numbers because it's easier to express, both parishes have on our books about 1,600 people. So I'm responsible in theory for 3,200 people. Last year, 2021, St. Anthony had 11 baptisms while Our Lady of Mercy had 22 baptisms. This year, St. Anthony had a bump while Our Lady of Mercy had a slight decline. This year, St. Anthony will have 6 weddings and Our Lady of Mercy will have 5. On the other end of life, St. Anthony had 48 funerals and Our Lady of Mercy had 31. This current year, which isn't closed yet, have both churches will be below those numbers this year. So that was the report from the hatched, matched, and dispatched. Okay, bad joke. Trying to keep this light. We use the St. Anthony Building School to teach approximately 150 students on the weekend. Between the 2 parishes, we had 9 students in the First Communion class and 15 in our confirmation. I want to extend a word of gratitude to all of our teachers who so generously give of their time to teach our kids. In addition, our RCIA, which is Adult Formation to Become Catholic, we have now combined with St. Jane. Kelly Duranen, our director of art, was able to facilitate that, so we're able to combine resources. In terms of finances, I am pleased to say that there is no debt in either of our parishes. If you would like a financial summary, a summary of a summary for the last fiscal year in the church, our fiscal year is from July 1 to June 30th. So for the last financial summary for the fiscal year, there's a one-page summary in the back of the church. I will make one comment. The income for Our Lady of Mercy is inordinately high because we sold the St. Joseph's School in Southside in August of 2021. So it looks like we made $250,000, and that's not true. From all measures, we are living within our means. Our average weekly Sunday collection at both churches is approximately $6,200. $6,200. Thank you for your generous support. We strive to be responsible and prudent in our expenditures. As you know from your own homes, there is always some project to do, and at times there are emergency surprises. Well, there are a lot of older buildings between the two parishes, and in addition to that, we have 5 cemeteries. Let me share with you a few projects since I have arrived. On the back of that financial summary sheet, there's a list of the projects. Here are some highlights. At St. Anthony, we have upgraded to a new sound system in the church, a digital hymn board, a beautiful new Allen organ with speakers. We have a new security and fire alarm in the church and school building. We replaced 4 exterior rusting steel doors in the parish center and church. We made sidewalk repairs in front of the church and near the parish center to address leaking issues. We power washed the brickwork on the exterior walls of the parish center. Our major expense, as I mentioned before, was addressing a severe leak on the east wall of the church. This included the repointing of the brick, window glazing, new spouting, gutters, and leaf guards. And of course, I hope you noticed the beautiful landscaping in the triangle in the front of the parish center. At Our Lady of Mercy, not to get into all these details, but we addressed leaking roofs in the parish office. We had to make repairs on AC units. One of them might be going this season, so we replaced a furnace. We've been upgrading more efficient lighting. We've upgraded our fire alarm system, just to name a few of the things. Our latest project at St. Anthony may be, we're looking to replace the worn rugs in the church as well as the mausoleum. At Our Lady of Mercy, we're looking to replace the rectory windows. I have put this project off for 9 years because the difficulty is that we live in a historic district there and are restricted from using efficient and economically vinyl windows and must use an aluminum-clad wood window. So that's like the window I could have bought for $350 turns out to be $750 per window. That includes installation. So as you can imagine, it's expensive. None of these projects would happen without your generous financial support. So thank you. I ask that you continue to your generous giving. However, I would also like to ask you to consider a couple of things. Each week, you can imagine our collections fluctuate. To perhaps study the flow, would you consider perhaps online giving? There's a safe and easy way to donate consistently to your church. At Our Lady of Mercy and St. Anthony, we have separate envelopes, a capital improvement or a maintenance and repair envelope. Would you consider making perhaps a substantial donation at Christmas time to assist specifically for some of these upcoming projects? Each year, we are pleasantly surprised that someone remembered their parish in their estate. My grandmother calls it pennies from heaven. Each of our parishes have been blessed with generous gifts this year exceeding $60,000. So I would just ask that you kindly consider perhaps including your parish church in your estate planning. Lastly, many of you have an IRA, and you now have your required mandatory distribution, your RMDs, that can be given tax-free to a charity of your choice. Would you consider making your parish church a beneficiary of your RMDs? Please consult with your financial planner. But once again, thank you for your generosity to the parish. One of the other areas that I must consider is the use of our properties at St. Anthony. While we're using the parish offices, we are underutilizing the 2 rectory houses. How might we use this space to further the mission of Jesus Christ? But we do not exist to maintain buildings. As St. Paul told us today, Jesus is the head of the body, the church. As members of the body of Christ, we exist to continue the mission of Jesus Christ in Easton in 2022. The purpose of a parish is to experience the presence of God, and then to leave these four walls and be the presence of God in the world to others. This is achieved by developing a culture of prayer, of healthy teamwork, and that leads to forming active disciples. First, it is important to nourish our Catholic faith through the celebration of the liturgy and the sacraments. I want to thank Joe Fink and our choirs and cantors who share their musical gifts to aid in our worship of God. I want to thank all of our liturgical ministers, from sacristans to lectors to extraordinary ministers of the Eucharist to greeters and ushers. It is my hope that when someone enters our church doors, they feel welcomed, included, and prepared to experience God's presence. Each of you play a role in that task. In the new year, I would like to host a combined refresher and training for lectors, EMs, and altar servers, with the understanding that if you're a member of St. Anthony and you attend Our Lady of Mercy and would like to read, we would encourage you to do so, and vice versa. After 18 months of observations, I must make another adjustment to the Mass schedule. I have agonized, deliberated, and postponed making this decision. I'm grateful for Father Elias and for his help with the weekend and Sunday Masses. Without him, we would not have been able to have the schedule we have. But looking at the numbers of attendees at each of the Masses, I have decided to eliminate the 5:30 Saturday Vigil Mass at Our Lady of Mercy. Also, I will be changing the time of this Mass, the 4 p.m. Saturday Vigil Mass at St. Anthony, to 4:30 p.m., with the understanding that that was the old time that Our Lady of Mercy had, so they'll have their old time, but we'll use this building. Both churches now will have 2 weekend Masses. St. Anthony will have one on Saturday and one on Sunday. Our Lady of Mercy will have 2 Masses on Sunday, one the 8 a.m. English and one the 12 noon in Spanish. Believe me, this was not an easy decision. In addition, due to low attendance, I will be eliminating the 7 p.m. Monday Mass at St. Anthony. The novenas, which have been traditionally prayed on that day, will be now shifted to Thursday morning before the 8:30 a.m. daily Mass. These changes will take effect beginning in January of 2023. This reduction in Masses will create a challenge for the Mass intention book. So to alleviate this situation, each Mass will have 2 announced intentions. Also, as you know, there will be guidelines on the number of Masses a person can reserve. So just thank you for your understanding. While we remain 2 distinct parishes under one pastor, I want to continue sharing and combining resources where we can. If there is an event at St. Anthony or at Our Lady of Mercy, I want each member to feel welcome at the other's event. I was pleased this summer when we celebrated the first ever Festa Fiesta, or an international day, on Pentecost Sunday. We expanded on the Italian heritage and included a variety of cultures from Latin America. We shared delicious food, traditional music, and games. I hope to expand on that event this year. Another example of shared resources will be working towards a combined bulletin, the Catholic community of Easton at St. Anthony and Our Lady of Mercy. There will be shared information, but also information regarding our specific communities in one location. You may observe some changes in the bulletin format, so I just thank you for your patience as we make those adjustments. I'm glad that Deacon Ken is with us. We continue to keep him in our prayers as he perseveres each day. He's a model to me, and I think to all of us, of perseverance, courage, and surrender and trust to God. So thank you for your prayers also. With an aging population, the care of the homebound in our parishes has grown. At Our Lady of Mercy, we have over 30 individuals, and at St. Anthony, we have over 50 individuals. These members of our community are unable to attend Mass due to health or living in a nursing facility. We have dedicated EMs who visit and bring Holy Communion to them each month. Thank you to all who participate in this essential ministry. We have provided other opportunities for spiritual growth, including Advent and Lenten mornings of retreat, days of reflection, Advent Vespers, pilgrimage to different shrines. In addition, we provide free access to an excellent Catholic programming through an online platform called formed.org. We have book clubs, pro-life organization, Divine Mercy Cenacle, 40 hours, and the celebration of the Feast of St. Anthony. I would love to revitalize a parish retreat with both parishes. I know our Sacred Heart Sodality and Women's Guild at Our Lady of Mercy have shared meals and gotten to know one another. Little plug, the Sacred Heart Sodality has a cookie sale after Mass. All right, we're almost through, okay? How are you doing? The Holy Name Society of St. Anthony extends an invitation to any man interested from Our Lady of Mercy. Our St. Placido Society maintains rich Sicilian traditions. Our knitting crew makes beautiful caps and baptismal blankets. Each of these organizations are part of our parish and have contributed in many and varied ways to the well-being of our communities, and I thank you. Lastly, I wish to comment on your generosity to the larger community. You are generous in your second collections, which often go to relief of various worldwide or local organizations. You are very generous with your food donations and collections to feed the poor. Every second Monday of the month, St. Anthony provides a meal at Safe Harbor. Our Vincent de Paul Food Bank in our school, feeds many of our local neighbors on the first and third Tuesday of the month. They're always looking for volunteers. Again, in Advent, we'll resume our reverse Advent calendar, where each day of Advent, a food donation is made. This food is distributed to Project Easton and Safe Harbor. In addition, you are generous with the Christmas giving tree and the Easter crib, which helps young mothers and families. We have been also very successful with our Christmas cookie sale, which raises funds for feeding families in Haiti. Again, thank you. Why do we exist as a parish? St. Paul tells us that in all things, he might be preeminent. Jesus might be preeminent. We exist to make Jesus Christ the center of our lives. The world is changing, and so are the challenges to living our Catholic faith. There are many distractions and temptations in life. Many people begin to lose faith and give into hopelessness and despair. I see this happening to many people, and often especially our young people. How can we improve our outreach to young people? How can we address their fears and anxieties with the truth and the joy of the gospel? Yes, we need more priests, but in reality, we need more committed, believing, and practicing Catholics. We need vibrant faith communities strengthened by the Word of God and the Holy Eucharist. Father, what are you going to do about this? That's not a viable question anymore. The question must be, Father, how can I help you share my talents to help this parish grow? As we close out our liturgical year on this feast of Christ the King, let us give thanks to the Father for giving us the gift of his Son. Jesus must continue to lead us as we move forward into the unknown future. Jesus promises to walk with us each step of the way. And as we celebrate the Eucharist, we give God thanks for the blessings of our parish community. We ask for a deeper faith to believe and to trust in God. We ask for an outpouring of the Holy Spirit to lead us forward. I am so grateful to both of my staffs and volunteers who give so generously to serve you, the people of the parish. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as your priest.